folks, it's Ray, DCRainmaker.com here, and today I've got your complete Suunto 9 Peak unboxing extravaganza. Now, this is not my review video or my hands-on video, whatever you want to call it. That is up in the corner there where I talk about all the new features that are on these watches and how they work, both in real life and in theory. But this video is all about unboxing all four of these versions here and seeing, like, size-wise and all comparison stuff, how they look and compare physically to pretty much all their competitors. So I got the Polar Grid X, the Wahoo RIVAL, the Suunto 7, the Garmin Forerunner 9045, the COROS Vertix, and the Suunto 9 Baro. So like this thing's older sibling, if you will. So there are four different versions of this, four different colorways. Technically, those group into two different categories. A higher-end one that costs €699, and that has titanium on it, and then a lower-end, if you will, one that cost €569, and I'll put the US dollar pricing as well right here, that does not have titanium on it. It's really as kind of as simple as that. So beyond that, they should be the same. We're going to find out. We're going to find out how this all works. We're going to start off with this top left-hand one right here, which is the Suunto 9 Peak Moss Gray. That's the official name for it. So we'll slide these just out of the way right there. We'll crack this open. So you can see on the front of the box here, I got this new watch face list right there, Suunto 9 Peak, of course. And beyond that, it's more or less like a Suunto box that you know and love. On the back here is just kind of some information about the watch itself. So all the intelligent battery modes. This allows you to get significantly more battery life through some of the modes that you may not ever use, like the tour mode and stuff like that. That's designed for like going days and days and days on GPS charges. 80 sport modes that you probably would use. The sapphire glass across the board here. Navigation, weather functions, blood oxygen sensor is new to the Suunto 9 Peak. Touchscreen that we've had in the past at this price point and this particular model type, and then the 100 meter of water resistance. So slide this open. There we go. This way, I guess, is probably the correct way. And got the little shell there, and then we take this out, and there we go, flopping off the side. So inside we have the watch, very similar design, similar, identical design box to the Suunto 7 box. And one of the things you'll probably notice about Suunto is they're really clever on how they reuse all their boxes over the years, like many, many years. They must buy boxes like by the millions and just hope they'll eventually go through enough product iterations to make it work. But like these internal parts here are largely the same across everything. And it's just this little shell that they go ahead and they make different ones over time. So kind of clever. Anyways, inside here we have the charging cable, looks like. So I'll pull that out first. A totally different charging cable than any past. This thing just keeps wanting to flop over. Okay, fine. Any past charging cable out there. And so we'll look at that here once we get this undone. Again, this is the Moss Gray edition. It's a nice, like, kind of light turquoisey sort of color. Nothing else inside of that. In the box here, we've got this little adventure pack, and we got a pile of manuals. So in this case, looks like a quick starter guide, a warranty coverage, and then a really thick safety book. Safety matters a lot, apparently, in a lot of different languages. But I suspect they'll probably tell us the same thing, which is, yeah, not to do anything stupid. So that's pretty much the gist of it, and some of the operating conditions there. And then I'll go through some more regulatory stuff, and then boom, new language. So there we go, international warranty bit, you know that. And getting started here to go ahead and get this watch up and running. And at this point, we have our watch right there. So this is the new base. This is a new LifeQ sensor. And so this is something that they use a LifeQ sensor on the Suunto 7, and they liked it enough. They switched away from the Valence cell sensor. And so this is also notable because it has what's SpO2 or blood oxygenation level as part of that. And you can see I love this back there. It's a very, like, kind of reminds me a little bit of the new iPads and kind of the newer design, Apple design for some of the new units with more of like just a harsher cornering, but it looks really, really nice. It's impressive. It's the first time I've actually seen it in person. The buttons are definitely a bit more standoutish than you would have had in the past, at least in terms of like more sharp, if you will. But here is this base charging cable. And this just simply plops in. Oh, hey, and a quick note, if you're finding this video interesting or useful or something like that, consider subscribing, because there's approximately an 83.9% chance, according to YouTube, that you're not subscribed to the channel. With that, let's keep on going. So let's get this thing powered on here. There we go. I just felt it buzz. There we go. Select a language. English. And I suspect here it's going to ask me to pair it up to the app in just a moment. Go ahead and define the profile. Nice little click. It's a very, very clicky sounding click. So compared to like something like the Suunto 9 Baro, there's no sound of the buttons here. It's a very clear, you can hear it in my, here we go. There you go, you can hear that pretty nicely. It doesn't sound obnoxious, it's just a nice little physical click there of the buttons itself. So we'll go ahead down, select the birth date, and I'll finish this up real quick here. And now we'll connect it up to my phone. Okay, there we go right there. The Suunto 9 Peak, pair that up. Enter the passcode in to confirm pairing with the two devices. Allow notifications. And now it's going through a Watch Basics menu right there. And showing me how to use it from an exercise standpoint, just kind of the really quick basics here. We'll go ahead and we'll skip this right now since I already know how to use the app. Insights, how to get down into steps and training, and how to change the view. Remember, it is a touchscreen, so you can't go ahead and do that. Move the phone out of the way so it gets back onto the display brightness right there. The camera in that case is going ahead and using the phone as sort of how it calibrates its brightness. So tap to toggle the view. There we go. And we turn to the watch face up here. And hold this right button for options to get the shortcuts. Swipe to go back. And we're done. So on my phone right now, it's still syncing the exact time, but that's fine. Just to kind of go through the menus and show you how well it responds. So to do side by side with the Suunto 9 here. Here you go in terms of responsiveness. Seems about the same, to be honest, not too much different at this point in terms of responsiveness. But you know, button presses and all that is there. Not super quick, but it'll do. So this is an unboxing. It's not a full review video. That's up in the corner there where I walk through all these features. So let's get on to the size comparisons real quick, and then we'll go through the rest of the units. So move this stuff out of the way. And just show you size-wise, here is compared to the Suunto 9 Baro. You can see much, much smaller watch. When I talked to Suunto about this, I said the overwhelming amount of feedback they had on the Suunto series that it felt bulky. Consumers said it felt bulky and just too large for the wrist. You'll see on the poles right here of the watch band itself, it's much, much smaller in the past. This, you know, kind of forced itself around. So for a small wrist, it really wasn't ideal versus this is a much cleaner design, cleaner setup. From a spec standpoint, I actually have the exact widths of these things. So the Suunto 9 Peak is the slimmest of the Suunto, 3579 series at 10.6 millimeters deep. So this part right here, so the part if you put it flat on the table, how high off the table it goes, and is 43 millimeters wide. Compared to the Suunto 9 Baro was 15.5 millimeters, sorry, 15.4 millimeters deep. So 50% deeper than this, and it was 50 millimeters wide. So this is actually smaller than even the Suunto 5 was, which is kind of impressive. So you can see here, massive difference. If we compare it to something like the COROS Vertix, again, it's a smaller watch. It's certainly a thinner watch for sure. If we go to the Suunto 7, it's a smaller watch as well, and also a thinner watch. And you can see just in the back there, I just had the red light show up for the SpO2 sensor, but it'll probably go back away again. Here is the Polar Grid X. You can see it's slightly slimmer, I think, than this watch, and a little bit smaller as well, so it just fits on top there with a little bit peeking out the bottom of the Grid X. On the Wahoo RIVAL, it is a very similar, a little bit slimmer as well watch, and then again, a little bit smaller there. And probably the closest competitor in this realm from a thinness standpoint is going to be the Garmin Forerunner 945. And I have to say it's close, but I think the Suunto 9 Peak is again a tiny bit slimmer as well, and also a little bit smaller. So you'd be seeing more like the 745, which is cheaper than this, would be probably almost the exact same size. This got a little bit smaller than the 945. So from a weight standpoint, coming in here, again, this is the moss gray one, which is the stainless steel one. It's the cheaper one and should be the heavier one. So put that on there, and comes in at 61 grams. compared to something like the Suunto 9 Baro of years past, coming in at 82 grams, and then the Forerunner 945 coming in at 50 grams. This is a plastic watch, of course, so a little bit different. Oh, and I forgot I charged up the Fenix 6 S Pro, because it's probably the slimmest and smallest comparison to this. So just weighing that really quick there is at 60 grams, so virtually identical to this. And then you'll see size-wise, it's virtually identical as well. I'd say it's a complete wash in terms of the size. They're pretty much the exact same and look to be about the same. I would say the Suunto 9 Peak is slightly thinner by maybe 1 millimeter or 2 than this. So with that little comparison out of the way, let's look at the rest of the models here. So grabbing the next one, this is another base unit. This is the Suunto 9 Peak, all black, you see right there. So this is also a stainless steel model as opposed to a titanium one. We're just gonna go straight into it. I won't redo all the manuals each time because that'd be kind of silly. But go ahead and pop this out. And you can see there are different accessory straps as well for this. So in this case, go ahead and we can see on there, it's clearly all black. As the label implies here, it's all black, and this is 100% all black. A little bit of grayness in the optical sensor plate down there, but the portions that you would see are indeed all black. So there you go. Nice look at that. It feels great though, like it's just like the other one, just simply black. But there are different accessory bands that you can buy. And then coming, I think in June sometime, there will also be some leather bands and stuff like that. I'll throw some pictures on the screen right now of those that you can see there. So those two are done. Let's grab the next one. We're gonna go off the titanium ones now. So this here is the Suunto 9 Peak Granite Blue Titanium. So I'd say the only criticism I'd have of this whole naming scheme is things get really long really quick, which has sort of been like Suunto's MO over the years, is like how many words can we make in the name, and this one's long. So some of the companies do obviously have, like Garmin has many variants of bands and stuff, but for the most part they don't usually put the colors in those as the official product name. They just put it like as a model off the side, but not actually the official product name. Versus Suunto tends to put it as the official product name. So a minor difference there. So this one's nice. This is again the Granite Blue Titanium edition, which Suunto says should be, let me just tear this off. Suunto says should be 15% lighter, so let's see if that holds true here. So 53 grams, wow, versus this one here coming in at 61 grams. So that's substantially lighter. That's this metal-looking watch is basically the same weight as Garmin's plastic watch, and this looks really nice. This blue looks nice in person. They've done away with the perforations, so you can see here on this titanium band, there's no like secondary sweat perforations right there, which I guess take it or leave it. And then flipping that over, you can see there you go on all those. But this looks really sleek. That silver there. This almost, I'm not sure if that's a metal portion or not. It looks maybe a little more plasticky right there than otherwise, but it's looking pretty nice. So flip these back over, slide them out of the way here, and then do the last one, which is the Suunto 9 Peak Birch White Titanium. Again, another titanium one. So again, 15% lighter in theory, and so here we are, white there. There we go. Pop this little off right there. And so one thing I'm noticing right away here is that there is no secondary strap holder. So, a lot of straps, you have this piece right here that once you feed it through, it goes and holds these two things in there. In this case, it's purely just a button. So I'm interested in seeing how that works over time. We'll be able to check out my review video up in the corner there to find that out, but kind of doing these videos a bit backwards. So you can see on this, there's the white. It's very like maybe a slightly off white, if you will, and then looks like the little buttonholes are a slightly different color white as well. And then on the back here, looks like the same silver that's used in same kind of off gray color right there that's used on the blue one. And then you can see the actual side casing as well is the same. Yeah, this one over here is that stainless steel casing for the bezel versus this is titanium on that bezel there. So there you go, a complete look at all these. Let me just put these all lined up right there. And you can see them real quickly. And then flipping them over, you see the backs of them. and all these are the same thickness. And then the weights were the same on the titanium ones, and then the same on the stainless steel ones. So there you go, a complete look at the Suunto 9 Peak from an unboxing standpoint. Again, the full video up in the corner there for all the features where I talk about like the snap to route, like basically the way they kind of cheat at GPS. It's pretty interesting. So check that out and all the other details there. And then look for the full written review link down below as well. With that, thanks for watching and have a good one.